overhaul of the America's healthcare system, reform is still a long way off. Changes ordered by the historic bill don't fully kick in until 2014. In the meantime, though, the overhaul has become the flashpoint issue in the race for Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate seat. Scott McFarland explains as he begins a series of reports on how the 2010 campaign will affect the Alleghenies.
He drove 4 hours from Pennsylvania to D.C. just to see a nurse because Mike Cucciarini gets his health care from free charity clinics around the country.
Because we don't have any health insurance. We're out, and we can't afford what was at one point in time affordable 7, 8 years ago is simply no longer affordable. It's not an option.
At last report, 13% of adults in the Alleghenies had no insurance. Joe Sestak says that's why he voted for reform, even as protesters from Pennsylvania swarmed the Capitol on the night of the vote.
Only one thing mattered. We were losing hundreds of people a week in Pennsylvania from the health care rolls.
Mr. Sestak also mentions his daughter, diagnosed with brain cancer. He says she would have been denied coverage because of a pre-existing condition, but won't be now because of reform. His supporters also point to this year's college graduates in Pennsylvania who, for the first time, can remain on their parents' insurance after graduation, again because of reform. A new Rasmussen poll released here tonight shows Pennsylvania is absolutely split over health reform. 46% strongly favor it, 35% opposed. So the GOP says this is a huge wedge issue.
It's also over $2 trillion of spending that we can't afford. It's $500 billion of tax increases. And what I really worry about is it's going to jeopardize the quality of health care.
Toomey says the overhaul could push you unwillingly out of your current insurance by making it too expensive for your employer. If elected, he says he'd push to repeal the law and, quote, replace it with new reform.
I think people would rather see both parties have a seat at the table.
People are recognizing this is something that helps them be productive, healthy citizens. So Congressman Toomey disagrees.
Both men hope health reform will help them win over undecideds, which, by the way, includes Mike Cucciarini.
I don't know all the political hubbub. I do know that there's a lot of insurance companies that are really wealthy.
Scott McFarland, WJAC TV News.
Meanwhile, we are learning that both candidates are crisscrossing Pennsylvania this week with campaigning. Congressman Sestak appears in State College tomorrow afternoon to talk about farming issues. Well, Tony, really